So plasma. So I would not suggest this because if you have the guns facing your enemy, then this side doesn't see anything. The only thing, in my opinion, that is acceptable to put on the rear side is an MLS 2 or 3 launcher because you can still use that. But like the only time that point defense is going to be able to shoot at anything is when it's facing the wrong way, right? So you kind of want to avoid that happening. Oops. Other than that, let's see. Okay, yeah. So C60s or 100 mil. The C60 is kind of interesting, specifically because 450. If you recall me talking a long time ago about damage thresholds, 450 millimeter is one of the few weapons that will knock out those modules 100%. So you give up potentially some more 100 millimeter firing. No, she's crafting on a sewing machine, so
Right.
that's what that noise is. I was hoping it wouldn't be too loud, that it was super distracting, but
Distracting.
we'll see. I think it's fine.
I
People
don't.
will be like, "Ah, you live in the basement of your parents', house."
I only have
LOL.
a week left to work on my
No, you're fine.
morphing
You're
costume.
fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Uh, got sidetracked. Yeah, so by bringing the 450, yeah, you give up the ability to maybe fire some 100 HEHC, but you gain the ability to kill modules dead. And personally, I think that's worthwhile in a fleet like this. Yeah, you have the plasma, but maybe the plasma, it hasn't hit a spot that you really need that damage to go through. So by having the plasma on the line ship and a 450, at least some 450 available, I think it kind of covers all the bases. It's a well-rounded approach, in my opinion, to get damage through. So I like that. And you've got 2 of them. That's fine. Maybe put point defense over here. These cannons, the T20s are not very good um, at anything. So personally, I like point defense here better. If you put some point defense on the monitors, that might allow you to skip out on one of these shuttles to get another monitor, right? Yeah, grazers are okay, but like, so okay, we took off the point defense on the other side. Let's take out, just for an experiment. Obviously, there's tons of optimization you could do here. That's part of the fun. I don't want to hand deliver fleets to people because I don't think, you know, why would you just play someone else's fleet? That's no fun. But let's just see what it looks like if we take out these 2 shuttles. Yeah, you could easily make a third monitor fit into this. You still have the 6 bastions available, which you got 3 per shuttle, so you're even there. You have point defense available on this ship. As far as as far as total number of point defense turrets go, I think this is fine. And you still got this. Maybe it doesn't need a pinpoint on it. The whole point of having the Bloodhound is so that it doesn't get close. Um, if you want a pinpoint, put it on a line ship or like maybe a monitor, things that are going to be close. Wait, you don't like my dis? Was that analysis annex with no intel? Yes. So this doesn't work. On the Sunfish battleship? What is the... Wait, Raptor, which one were you? Were you the one that came out and got killed by the containers? Was that your ship? Yeah, Fishhead, I'm not sure exactly what. Um, yeah, okay, we'll talk. So, analysis annex, where it says intelligence effort, that only works if you have intelligence. Haha. And you need either, I don't even think you can get it here. You need either a Citadel CIC or an intelligence center to get that. So having an analysis annex without anything to analyze is yeah, no good. So take a quick look through this modules, eregs. Yeah, so 5 fits. It's a little bit, it is excessive, but if you check out down here, you're firing 62.25 RPM. This, by the way, is faster than an autoloader can fire the turreted version of the plasma. It's real fast. It's much plasma. 415. If you don't know, ammo has breakpoints. So to get these 15 extra rounds, you're paying the same as it would cost you to take the next 100 rounds. So see how we're at 2988. If I go up to 500, oh sorry, plasma comes in 50 batches. Wait, no, 25s? 25s. Okay. Was it 25? Was I just being an asshole for no reason? Maybe. HE definitely comes in batches of 100 though. 50? Is it 50? God, what a jerk. Yeah, plasma's 25. See? Boop, boop. And then 250 comes in batches of 50. Yeah, so my rule is whenever I go through, I always add 1 ammo and see if it changes the cost. By the way, this is an insane amount of flak rounds. You're never going to fire 3,000 flak rounds. Maybe 1,000 we can put in there, but definitely not 3,000.
You said that about mines.
I did say that about mines, but this is different. Yeah, so this 1 HE shell is costing you the same as another, 24 shells. Ha! I did it correctly, finally. Same for this. Yeah, so just little optimizations there. No, I've definitely seen these chew through some ammo. 1,000 is probably too much, though. But, regarding ammo, play around with it. No, let me skip over to Gaming Raptors BB, and then we'll get back into some games. I don't want to spend too long without getting that sweet gaming action. Where's BB? Okay. So regarding the point defense, you had, I think, 2 Sarissas and a bullseye on the front, and then like some chaff on the rear, and that is just not a good PD setup. I would recommend having a stone wall on the top and bottom of the sides. Was it your 7th game ever? Bully for you, man. Welcome to the game. We hope you're enjoying it. I have nothing bad to say about how you played. But I do have some recommendations for the point defense if you're interested. Any chance you could nab some of those fleets? Which fleets? These fleets? I have a lot of fleets now. All your ships are fish themed. I love that. So I will say, I recommend for a battleship to take Stonewall, 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 and a defender on the rear. There's many different things you can do. Ones you showed us? I mean, I can... well, the one I showed you was the one that Varmin linked me. It just had some changes. Yeah, so 2 things. Number 1, the point defense. So the Stonewall is really, really good right now. It fires a lot of flak and it does a lot of damage. It's really good at taking out the types of missiles that OSP is firing right now. They can fire a lot of size 2 missiles in like a big swarm. And the other thing that they do really well is they can kill containers really well, especially this defender on the back. Yeah, Starkingson, there's some newer players, and they started asking for some fleet advice. So even though I'm not doing like the Let's Play, I thought I'd take a moment and just run through. Because there are two things that are really difficult to learn when picking up this game. Number one is what type of PD to bring. And number two are what mix of weapons that you need to have in order to make everything work. So once you have a better understanding of how those things work, you can really be a lot more effective. And like, there's a huge gap in effectiveness from when you're first learning the game up until you reach, right around silver or mid silver, somewhere like there. And most of that is, a big section is how to play the game, what positions are good, how all that stuff. But when you're starting out, a huge section that's more important than that is how to build a fleet specifically, so it can kill things and so it won't die to the very first missile that takes a look at it. Yeah, Captain Chaos, it has to do with people's tolerance to have bad things happen to them. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. People, honestly, even if on a stream that I'm casting, if someone just gets decimated, I'll say something about it, but it's really not a big deal. And if anyone feels bad about that, don't, because we were all there. We all got stomped in our very first games. I don't know anyone that could claim that they were amazing at this the very first game they played. So if they are, they're a liar. uh, but some people, they feel bad about that, especially the fact that you have other people that you're maybe, they don't want to get yelled at or feel bad that they, that's just how it is. But I think this community does a really good job of, for the most part. I can't speak for everybody, but in general, I think they do a really good job of saying like, oh, let's bring everybody up and get them playing the game and enjoying it and having a good time and not worry so much about, oh, well, that fleet got blown up. I get blown up all the time. You can go to the YouTube channel. There are plenty of games where I get dumped on, and I have 1,000 hours in this game now. So it happens. Oh, did you, Fishhead? um, yeah. So stone walls are really good. Defenders really good. Sarissas can be good, not on a battleship. A battleship really needs these stone walls, especially because they also will protect from rocket strikes. And if a rocket strike doesn't get defended against, it can be super deadly. If you want to bring Sarissas, they're okay on like a frigate or an escort ship. Um, but I wouldn't take them as your primary defense. Right now, primary defense for ANS, stone walls, 100% all the way. Take them wherever you can. They're super good. Defenders are the secondary. They will help protect you from containers, especially containers. They're super good against containers. The more specialized point defense, Aurora's not very good right now. Sarissas can be good, but they're better to be taken on an escort. The other piece of advice I will give is when you're building fleets, try and take more hulls. More hulls will help you a lot versus shoving everything on one ship. Also, um, damage control for a battleship, aim for at least 7 restores. So that's what, like at least 3 large DCs and at least 1 large reinforced DC. That will give you enough staying power so that if something bad happens, you can get back into the game. And you're so tanky, you really need that ability. So Yeah, I think we'll. How many restores for an Axford? I mean, uh, so for ANS side, oh yeah, I mean more ships. Like with the Solomon, try and get it so that you can take, a Solomon and a Corvette or two, or a Solomon and a Corvette and a frigate, something like that. Those additional ships um, allow you to, number one, you can take more point defense. Number two, they just help in a lot of different ways. Missiles can go for them instead of your big ships. Um, you get a lot more utility. Really, that's my one number. I should say my number three advice to people starting out in the game. They don't really know how to build a good fleet or whatever. Try and up the number of hulls. It really will help just a lot in helping you stay in the game. Yeah, I see a lot of times people like build a single battleship and they put all their points onto it. This can especially happen if you also take missiles. Missiles are a huge point sink. If you start taking missiles on ships, it can balloon their cost like crazy high. Um, so yeah, I would not suggest really putting very expensive missiles onto a battleship. You can get away with something like torpedoes. I don't think torpedoes are necessarily great right now, but you could do it if you really want to have some kind of missiles. What I might suggest is maybe like just take the cannons or something, cheaper on the battleship, get its points cost down, and then take a frigate and maybe put some cheap missiles on the frigate instead of the battleship and spread it out a little bit.